All right, so we're in chapter 7-1, and we're going to look at guided practice on page 202. We're going to start with number 1. So number 1 shows us x plus 4 equals negative x minus 4. A way to think about this when you don't have any number in front of x is just to think that that number 1 is there. So we can put that number 1 in front of it, and it means the same thing. It just means 1x. So if I wanted to do this, I want to get x on one side, and I want to get my numbers on one side. So I can add 1x here to cancel that out. But if I do it to this side, I've got to do it to the other side too. So I add those x's together. 1 plus 1 gives me 2x. Bring down my 4. Bring down my equal sign, and bring down the negative 4. I want to get x by itself, so the next thing I'm going to do is get rid of this 4 here. So minus 4. Whatever I do to one side, I've got to do to the other. So this cancels out. This one becomes negative 8. Bring down my 2x. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. I get x equals negative 4. Again, this cancels that out. What I do to one side, I've got to do to the other. So my answer for this one is x equals negative 4. Number 11 isn't asking us to solve it. It's asking us to write a real-world situation that can be modeled by the equation. So the equation they give us is 100 minus 6x equals 160 minus 10x. So I'm not trying to solve anything for here. I'm just trying to give an example of a situation where that could be possible. So one example that you could think of is that Xavier had $100 in his lunch account. He spends $6 for lunch every day. So that gets deducted from that original amount. This one here, we can say Zach had $160 in his lunch account, but his lunch cost him $10 a day. So we can find out after how many days will the boys have the same amount in their account. And so that's an example of a real world situation where this equation would make sense. That's what you're trying to solve for this question.